Hey guys, it is Pollution here again, and I'm going to be showing you how I make factions today. I use ChatGPT to help me with my factions. If you're familiar with the other videos that I've made, you probably know that I have a lore.txt file where I put all of the information about my campaigns and the worlds that I build into that file. I have a different one for each of the worlds that I build, and I have one specifically for Threads of Oblivion. The factions that I'm going to be generating are going to be based off of the different kingdoms in Oblivion Vale, which is the continent in Threads of Oblivion. I pretty much wanted 3 different factions for each of the kingdoms, along with one faction over each of the kingdoms, like a major faction. And the factions all have different purposes that they serve. So each of these factions that I'm generating, I have different things that I'm asking the AI to do to make them. And all I'm doing is I'm putting it into ChatGPT, and I have an additional project instruction that helps focus everything through the lore.txt file so that the AI is pulling exactly what it needs to when it is creating what I'm asking of it. So what I'm going to do now is in Threads of Oblivion, I'm going to start putting these factions in, and we're going to see what they look like. So for each of the factions that I put in, I also have the image. Just something simple. I asked for a black background with a white icon for each of them, and I put it in oil paint style fantasy art. And this is pretty much what it gave me. I'm not very happy with the way that it looks, so I'm going to be adding some stuff to it so that this isn't going to be the end for the factions. As you can see, I went back to ChatGPT and I set up another prompt where I'm asking it for a description for each of the factions. I'm basically asking it for an image or a symbol that's going to be on a copper coin for each of these factions that represents it. It just reminds me of how I did Falladrim. Falladrim had like a gold coin, kind of gold brass colored coin that represented each of the different factions in the world. And I think that it would be nice if I had this dark fantasy game do the same thing except with a darker copper coin. A little bit less life to it, less happy, because it is dark fantasy. Now, while I do those coins, I'm going to be generating those in the background in ChatGPT. I'm going to be working on different parts of my map, and this is, pretty much how you want to multitask when you're building your games. I decided I was going to make some cities today, so I have some prompts that I put in to help pull information for each of the cities, for their descriptions, and for their appearances. Now that I have factions done, it'll be a whole lot easier for me to make cities and different areas. Because you want the factions done so that you could put them in as you're building, so that you don't have to go back and put them in later. It just saves you a whole lot of time, which is why I like to do this part early. I do the same thing with the monsters, and I showed you how I made monsters before. If you have the monsters ready, then as you build out areas, you can just start sliding the monsters in that belong there. We're going to start with some of the cities that are in Follow Vein, so these are the Human Kingdom cities. I have a town here, and I'm looking through the Midjourney art that I've generated. This town is really nice, and I like it, but the problem is I want to have walls for it, because I'm going to do something very special when I'm editing the city. As I edit it, I want to be able to cut around the walls so that it looks really nice when it's in the actual game. But because I don't have the walls here, what I'm going to want to do is I'm going to take this art and I'm going to put it into Midjourney's editor page, and I'm just going to expand it a bit and generate there, and I'm going to take a look and see what kind of art I really like. And if it doesn't make something that I like, I could just regenerate it again, but it's going to give me 4 options, so I'm probably just going to pick from those 4. I've selected the art that I like, so I'm going to download it, and I'm going to edit it from here to make it so that the edges of the walls are just at the edges of the image. And this is important because when you're editing after this, you don't want to have to put in like extra lines or corners as you're cutting into the area. And I'm going to show you how to do that here. What you want to do is you click on the map after you put the image in, and you click on it a second time and it opens up the polygons. And when the polygons are open, you just rearrange them and move them around. But what I like to do is I like to click a couple points on the edges of the map so that it holds the image at a certain size, adjusted to the right size. So here's me just, I'm going to fast forward and show you pretty much what the map looks like from here. And that's the first one done, and it looks absolutely amazing. I love the way that this looks. I'm going to show you a couple more because there are 3 major cities in Followvane that have survived in this dark fantasy universe. And that's pretty much all the cities, and those are pretty good. I like the way that they turned out. They are pretty well cut and placed into the map. The one that's by the water, that one was a lot harder than the rest because I ended up cutting into the region of Followvane and editing the way that it was shaped so that it covered the outside of the map just a little bit. And the reason why I did that was because it looks a whole lot cleaner and nicer, especially if someone was playing in that area. It's something that they would like to see if they saw it edited into a map. And I like to make things that are visually appealing to people. And now that those cities are done and I've set factions to them, which is pretty much just the Human Kingdom faction for now, I'm going to go back to the faction art that I was generating on the side, and I'm going to show you how it looks like now that all the faction art is done. As you can see, everything is very consistent. It looks very nice. You don't have to pull your hair out looking at different art images that don't match. And this is because ChatGPT is probably one of the most consistent art generators if you want something that fits a certain theme. Another thing that you could do after this is you could create a lore page for each of the factions, and this will help the AI pull information about the factions when they're encountered in the game. But you don't have to do that. It's just something that I would recommend, and I'm probably going to go back and do that myself for the factions that I just made here. But if you liked the video, please leave a like. Thank you for watching. If you haven't yet, please join the Discord. I'm pretty active there, and I'll see you there.